way. Right, so in this first example, we can see we've got multiple parts. Normally in an inequality, you saw something like 3x plus 2 is greater than 4, where we only had one inequality sign. Okay, so these are actually made up of more than one inequality sign. Now, let's just look at this one. You've got 3 bits, and it says -10 is less than 6x plus 2. And also 6x plus 2 is less than or equal to 32. So if you don't quite understand that, let's think about if we had numbers 3, 7, and 9. And if you wanted to make this true, we could put inequality signs between them. So 7 is the middle number, and then 3 is the smallest one. So 3 is less than 7, isn't it? Okay, so we got 3 is less than 7, and 7 is less than 9. So we could write this as 3 is less than 7 and 7 is less than 9. So we can actually break this down into 2 parts, which is what we'll do over here, method 2. So I hope you can follow that okay. And if they're negative, so -3 is less than -2, which is less than -1. So we just write the statement to make it true like that. These are both true. Okay, so now for doing these equations here, we want to find what is x. Okay, we're trying to find x. Now let's just write that down again. So we've got -10 is less than 6x plus 2 is less than or equal to 32. So what we try and do here is get x by itself in the middle. So what I'm going to try and do is get it looking like this. And then we'll have our answer. Okay. So if you look at this equation here, look to the middle. There's only one x and it's in the middle. So that's good because that means we can use this easy method for doing them. If you have x here, this method is much more difficult because it's hard to get x into the middle. So if we subtract x to get rid of this one, we're going to subtract x here as well. So we end up with a problem. So I'll show you this method anyway. So let's get rid of that x. Okay, so what we try and do is change this to be x. To do that, we see we've got 6x plus 2. So the first thing to do is get rid of 2. So to do that, we subtract 2 everywhere. So you go -2, -2, -2. So 2 minus 2 is 0. -10 or -10 minus 2 is -12. Less than 6x. Less than or equal to 32 minus 2 is 30. So you can copy this down with me. And now what do you think you do here? You see you've got a 6x. And as before, we can divide everything by 6. In the same way, we could solve this problem up here. So divide everything by 6. 6, 6, 6. So 6 into -12, that's -2. Less than 6x divided by 6 will cancel. So we have x here. And 6 into 30 is 5. And that's your answer. So that means that x is some number between -2 and 5 and can include 5. So if we wanted to do our number line for the solution, which you should do here. So you make a number line. We're going from -2. So let's put in a 0 somewhere. -1, -2 is here. And up to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we go from 2 or -2 up until 5. So don't include -2 because there's no equal sign. So go up to 5 and include 5 there. So that would be your solution on the number line. So any number between -2 and 5 will make this a true statement here. So if you pick 0, so if x equals 0, which is, it looks to be okay, doesn't it? We'll put 0 in here. You'll get -10 less than 6 times 0 is 0 plus 2 and 32. Okay, this is true, isn't it? -10 is less than 2 and 2 is less than or equal to 32. That's true. But if you pick another number like 6, which is not in the true area, so what if we put 6 in here? We'll get 36 plus 2, which is 38. So we'll have -10. That's what if x is 6. So -10 less than 6 times 6 is 36, plus 2 is 38, less than or equal to 32. Okay, you can see this bit is true, but this part is false because 38 is not less than 32. So this would be false because of this part here. So you should check your answer when you finish. Pick a couple of numbers and check it seems reasonable. And you can check -3 on this side as well if you want. You'll get the same result as you got here. All right, so that's one way to do it. That's the easy method. All right, but that method doesn't always work. Now, this method is longer, but you can use it for more kinds of questions. So if you had 2x less than 3x plus 1 less than 12 minus 5x, for example, this method would be very difficult because you have x's in 2 places here. You don't just have x in the middle, or you also have it there, don't you? So this method wouldn't work well for this question. But I'll show you how we can do it using this question here. So let's look at this method. So -10 less than 6x plus 2, less than or equal to 32. All right, so what we do here, as I mentioned earlier, if we had something like 3 is less than 5, which is less than 7, which is obviously true, we could say 3 is less than 5 and 5 is less than 7. We can do the same here. So what we do, we split the equation, the inequality, to 2 parts. So we'll split it to this bit. -10 is less than 6x plus 2 and 6x plus 2 is less than or equal to 32. Like that. So now we solve them separately, but then we'll join them back to this final answer here, actually this answer. We'll get the same answer. So let's try and do this one. So I'm going to solve this. I'm going to put my 6x on the other side. It will become -6x. Okay. I'll bring the -10 to the other side. It will become 10. So 10 plus 2 is 12. So just move your numbers around. The sign won't change. But now we divide by -6. So our sign will change. So this will become x is greater than -2. Okay, so that's the first bit, like that. And then we do the same for this side. So we're going to have 6x is less than or equal to 32 minus 2. Okay, and 32 minus 2 is 30. So 6x less than or equal to 30. Now we want to get rid of our 6, so let's divide by 6. Like that. So then 6 will cancel the 6. X is less than or equal to 5. So I'll put an and in there because we have an and at the start. Okay, you see we're going to get the same answer. So copy this down because you have a couple to do in a minute. Okay, so what we're saying here that the number is greater than -2 and the number is less than or equal to 5. So if I make a number line, let's make a gray one. So let's make a number line with both parts. So put a 0 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and -1, -2 here. So we're saying that x is going to be more than -2. So I'll put that in. I'll just keep going to infinity. Okay. And then this one says x is less than or equal to 5, which is here. And that's going to go that way. Okay. So we've got to be more than -2, but we have to be less than or equal to 5. So if you look at where these lines overlap, it's in here, isn't it? They have to both be true. So you can see now we're going to get the same answer as this one here. So you could have skipped this step here and you could have just gone, okay, it's got to be more than -2 and less than 5. But I did this for a reason because you do see this in some questions. And I recommend to set this up like this. So greater than -2, go to infinity. And then less than or equal to 5, go to -infinity in that direction. And look at where you see both, because they have to both be true. So true in this one and true here as well. Only where you see the green, it's true. Right? So the graphs are actually the same. Okay, same answer. It's a longer way to do the problem, but it's easier for harder problems. Okay, but today, just use method 1 here. So let's take a look. So you can give me an answer. I'll start you off. So let's look at the first one. So at least you got something to look at. We've got some harder ones here, but don't worry about them yet. So look at your equation. We only have one x in the middle, and each one just has x in the middle. You see that? So that means we can use the easy method for simplifying. All right, so we don't have multiple x's in other places, which is good for us. Okay, so first step, look at the middle term. We are trying to get x in the middle. So it will look like that. And just follow the signs. Keep the signs the same, don't change them. Unless you're multiplying by a negative number or dividing by neg. So then the sign will have to change direction, but don't worry about that yet. So you've got a 2 here. So you work with me. Let's get rid of this 2 first. So I'll go pretty slow so you can keep up. So copy it down somewhere if you don't have a tablet. Just put in a notebook. Yeah, so it's not stuff in the textbook. So if you don't have a tablet, you should write it down on paper in a notebook somewhere. So 2 minus 2. So subtract 2 here, subtract 2, just like we do with equations and the other inequalities. So show that first on your working. So 5 minus 2 is going to be 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. So that would be just leaving 3x in the middle. And 11 minus 2 is 9. Okay, so now we need to divide by 3 to get rid of this 3 here because we want to simplify to x. So let's simplify down to x. So cancel the 3 like that. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. Less than, not less than or equal to. So let's get rid of that sign. Keep it as less than. So 3 on 3 is 1. 3x on 3 is going to leave you with x. And 9 on 3 will be 3, like that. So any number that's in this range will give you the answers. Let's just clear that out. So if you want to do a check 2. So use 2. So x equals 2. So this should be true because 2 is between 1 and 3, isn't it? So put 2 in here, you'll get 3 2s are 6, plus 2 is 8. So it's looking okay. This will be true. Okay. Any other number like 4 or -1 should be false. So it's a good idea to check your solution a little bit. Now on your number line, so let's use my line tool. There it is. So that looks nicer. So just put that in. You've got 1 to 3, so put -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. Just a few numbers, X, and between 1 and 3. So mark off 1, not including 1, and up until including 3, like that. That's your solution. That's your answer. So any number between 1 and 3 will make this true up here. Okay, I'll let you do this one yourself. And in your chat box, you put your answer looking something like this. So I'll give you a few minutes to do it. See if you can do this one by yourself. Just follow question A there. So you should have something, well, the X should be in the middle, shouldn't it? So you tell me what numbers go on the outside there. Okay, I'll wait for your answer. Try that one. Okay, do that for a minute. Let's see what it looks like after. You may need a calculator to help, up to you. Okay, stick those in the chat. Okay, any answers to this one? Don't take too long. Just get rid of your -7 in the middle first. So add 7 to both sides, to every side. You should get some nice, simple numbers. Okay, get some answers coming in. Let me have a look. Apitsada, why did your signs change? Can you look at your answer? Your numbers are correct, but your signs are wrong. Remember, we only change the sign when we multiply, so change direction of sign. When multiply or divide by a negative number. So these signs shouldn't change, because we're gonna adding number and we subtract number, no problem. And we may multiply or divide by positive number, so the sign is not touched. Okay, so these signs will stay in this direction. Okay, so finish that quickly before I start doing it, because I'll get that chat saved and I'll look at what answers you've done. Okay, any more coming? So I want to do the answer. So fix that one up. So it looks mostly like you know how to do it. The ones that are answering should know. So let's do the answer. What's the time? 8:24. So be quick if you want to put an answer in. So in this question, we've got -7 there. So we would add 7 everywhere. So the signs don't get changed. 7 plus 5, that's going to be 12. Less than -7 plus 7, that's gone. This will be 6x. 29 plus 7, that's 36. So at this stage, we're going to divide by 6, which is a positive number. So let's divide by 6. Like that. So 12 onto 6 is 2. Less than 6 and 6 will cancel. And 6 into 36 is 6. So we finished. So any number between 2 and 6 exclusive. Remember, exclusive means not including the endpoints. So if we had a number line, we would have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say 7. So 6 is here. And open circle because we're not including the endpoints, like that. And X for the axes. Okay, for that one. So most of you seem to have that okay. So how about C? Why don't you try this one? Okay, so do C the same way. Right, I'll wait for your answer here. So label a question C, because sometimes I got messed up. I couldn't follow what you were answering. So in your chat box, put C, okay, C, and then your answer here. And then your signs, if they're like that. Okay, so put C, question C. I should tell you to do that. Because if you get the answer wrong, I get confused about what question you're answering. So question C, so label C here. Right, try that one. I'm taking a note of which students have their cameras off as well. So if your camera's off, it would be a good idea to put it on, because I need to check. If your camera's off, I expect answers from you. So if you're not, it means you're asleep, probably. So I'm gonna, if you want to put your camera on, put it on now. If it's off, that's fine. But if you are not answering, I'll have to make you put it on. So So 9A, so I'll take note of it. So put that on, so I know you're actually there. Okay, so answer that question while you're working. So Apitsada, you're a bit shy, are you? Because I got your answer. So if your camera's broken, that's fine, but you need to be answering the problems. So other students are on, are they? Okay. Yeah, keep your camera on anyway. So I'm not checking on students, but I can check that you're there. But if your camera's off, you need to be answering the problems. Okay, so I know you're active. That's the main thing. I don't have to see your face, all right? As long as you're working. All right, keep going with this one here. So give me some answers. So be quick with that. Let's see what we got. Yeah, you may end up with fractions in this question, all right? That's fine. You do actually. So you're going to get fractions for this one. Abitsada, you changed your signs again. How come they become greater than? So take a look at that again. Because we're only subtracting number and we're dividing by positive numbers. So the signs won't change direction. Right, keep going on this one. Expand the bracket first. If you divide by 3, I guess you can divide by 3 first. But I would expand this bracket first. If you divide by 3, you're going to end up with fractions straight away. So if you are stuck, I would multiply this out first. If you divide by 3, which you can do, you end up with fractions here, and it gets a bit messy. So I would expand first. All right, so if you got stuck, try to expand first. So just have a go, put something in, even if it's not correct. And remember question C, like label that. Okay, be quick. I might do the answer in a second. Quickly. So put something in now because I'm going to start doing this question. So if you're not sure, just put what you think and then label it question C. Don't worry if you're wrong, but at least participate. So in this question, we've got 3x. So I would expand the bracket first. So this is going to be 3x plus 21. Let's put those on the end, 22. So you can see 22 and 23 is like they're really close together. So your range of x values is going to be quite small. So in this case, we'll subtract 21 from both sides. So 22 minus 21 is 1. 21 minus 21 is 0. You have 3x. And 23 minus 21 is 2. So we got a really small boundary here. The edges are very close together, the left and right side. So now we divide by 3 to cancel the 3 in the middle. So you're going to get 1/3 less than x less than 2/3. So very, very narrow range of x values because 22 and 23 are very close together. So of course, x will be very close together too. So in your number line, you can have 0. If you put, this could be 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, and 3/3 is 1. So you could label that as 1/3, 2/3. So break 1 up into thirds, and that would be from 1/3 to 2/3, like that. So it's a very narrow range of numbers. So you can do that. You can put fractions in your number line as well, because they're quite simple they're just easy fractions to graph. Okay, so you try D now. So label this as D. And we've got something less than something, which will be x, less than something on here. Okay, so just to give you a hint, the first thing you've got to do here is you've got a 5 in the denominator. All right, we probably want to get rid of this first. So the first step would be multiply everything by +5. So do that. So you just do that. So times 5, times 5, and times 5. That's your first step. Okay, so do that one and put your answer in quickly. My chair's squeaking. I'll get a new chair soon. Okay, try that one for D. Right, I got one answer, which looks correct. I'll probably post this video up, but I'm not going to edit it. I'll just put it up. It takes me too long to edit it properly, but I'll make it a private. I'll make it an unlisted video in YouTube. So I'll give you the link in the later in the homework or in the line group, but it won't be a public video because I'm not really editing it. So if you want to go through the video, it's going to be like the full length of the class. And then you can flick through to the section you want to look at later on. So question D, I've got a few answers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any more? Be quick. But the answers you're giving me are correct anyway, which is good. So multiply by 5, and then you will have your 6x minus 1 in the middle, which then you need to get rid of the -1 and the 6. And you're multiplying by a positive number, so your sign won't change direction. Okay, I'm going to start doing it now. So you better put some answer in if you want to get some points. So we've got 5 times 1, which is 5. Now this 5 here will cancel this one. Okay, but you still have a 6x minus 1 in the middle. And this is 35, 5 times 7. So then we continue as normal. Now you've got -1 there. So we will add 1 everywhere to all 3 sides, just like equations and the other inequalities. And then we'll go 5 plus 1 is 6. That will cancel. You'll have 6x in the middle. 35 plus 1 is 36. Okay, so now to get rid of the 6, then we just divide by 6 everywhere. Like that. 6 on 6 is 1. That 6 will cancel. This will be x. 6 into 36 is 6. Okay, so you've got all numbers, all real numbers between 1 and 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And x. And we call that an open interval. That's another word you can learn, open. It's an open interval because it's not including the endpoints, that's all. This is your interval here. That's just another word you can learn. Okay, so just get that down quick, that one. Okay, you can try the next one yourself. Let's have a look. Oh, harder problems. Oh, good. We got up to here. I'm not sure we will finish these today. Let me just have a quick look how much we got. Okay, well, we'll start these today anyway. Okay, so now we're going to have to use method 2 to do these because you've got x in more than one place. Okay, so these are going to be a bit more tricky. We're going to have to split these to 2 inequalities. So in this one, these will use method 2. Method number 2. Okay, so to do that, we need to break these into 2 parts. So we can say that this bit is less than 31. So we'll make equation or inequality 1 here. So 3x minus 5 is less than 31. And inequality 2, then we would say that 31 is less than 2x minus 7. So we have to do it twice and then we'll join it back at the end. Okay, and we do every question like that. Hope that's clear enough, because we can say that this has to be less than this number, and this number has to be less than this number. So nothing's changed. I've just separated it to two inequalities. And then we solve them separately. So let's try and solve this one. So you've got 3x minus 5 less than 31. So let's add 5 to both sides. Let's do that in red. So add 5 to both sides. Deal with the constant first, that single number. And then you're going to have 3x is less than 36, isn't it? Okay, you added 5 to both sides, leave the sign alone. Divide by positive 3 now. And dividing by positive, no problem. And then x will be less than 3 into 36 is 12. So we know x is going to be less than 12. But also this must be true. This one, whatever this is. So we know x will be less than 12, and this one also has to be true. So let's check. So this one, I think I would put the 2x on the other side to give minus 2x. So let's just move stuff around. So put your minus 2x on the other side. So we'll get minus or negative 2x. Put your 31 on the other side, we'll give you minus 31. So minus 7 minus 31. Okay, let's just check everything's okay. So negative 2x less than minus or negative 38. Okay, let's just check I'm in the right. Let's look at something first. Okay. So now we need to divide by negative 2. You see that? Because I've got a negative 2 here. So negative 2 will cancel. But you've divided by a negative number. So now you need to change this sign to be x greater than 19. Okay, look at that. Now we have something interesting. These have to both be true. So are you okay with this? We divide by negative and make sure you change your sign direction because we divided by negative 2. All right. But on our number line, we get something interesting. So let's draw a number line. Let's do a quick one. So you've got 0 about here. Let's put 0 there. You got 12 here somewhere, and you've got 19, say, here. So x must be less than 12. So let's do that first. And x must be greater than 19. Now look at these two lines. So it's true when x is less than 12, and it's true when x is greater than 19, but it can't be true at the same time. You see these two lines don't overlap. You see these two lines are separated and they don't touch anywhere. So this actually has no solution. So for example, just to show that's no solution. So imagine that x was 0. It will be true here. So let's put x equals 0 in. We'll get 3 times 0 is 0. So we'll have negative 5 less than 31, which is okay. But if you put 0 here, you'll get negative 7. Do you see the problem here? This bit is true. Negative 5 is less than 31. Okay, but look here. 31's not less than negative 7. This is false. So it's got to be true everywhere. So this has no solution. You can't put a number in here and make this whole thing true. It's not possible. It could be true for this bit, here, when you have a number less than 12, it would be true here, but it can't be true here as well. If you go back to our question here, where we have two lines, let's have a look here. You see this here where the lines overlap? Do you see the lines overlap here? The two lines cross over. But when we just did that question, they don't overlap anywhere. So because, let's write that, because the two lines don't overlap. Overlap means crossing over each other. They're separated. These lines are completely separate. So it's not possible to make both of these true with one number, okay? So because these two lines don't overlap. You can make it true for one equation, but not for the other one. So if I picked like 20, if I picked a number 20, I know it would be true here, but it's going to be false here. Okay, so that is a little confusing because it's a bit of a tricky question for the first one to give you. So, but I hope that kind of makes sense. You can review that again in the video. I won't give you too many questions like this, by the way. So this question looks kind of tricky and we only have 5 minutes. Is there an easier one? I think I'll leave that one. I'll give you another one to do and let's see what happens. I'm just going to make up something now. So we'll do B tomorrow. So let me make up one. So 2x minus 1 is less than 3x, less than 4x. Well, let's say, 4x plus 5. Okay, you can copy this down if you want, and I don't know what's going to happen because I've just made it up. So you'll split to two equations. So you write this one first. So 2x minus 1 less than 3x. So put your 3x on the other side to give minus 3x. So you get minus x less than 1. Okay, I've just rearranged it, that's all. Now we divide by -1. So x will be greater than -1. That's your first bit there. Okay, and then we do the same for this bit here. So all you do, you separate to two different equations and then you try to simplify and then worry about the number line later. So that would be 3x less than 4x plus 5. So 3x minus 4x is -x, is less than 5. Now divide by -1 again. This will cancel. So x will be greater than -5. Oh, that's interesting. So let's look at this on the number line. You can copy this one if you want. It's just an extra example I made up. So if you're doing a number line, let's put them both on and see what they look like. And what we're doing, we're looking where the lines are overlapping. You see my fingers here? Where these lines cross over, we'll have a solution here in this area. So it says that x must be greater than -1. So we just draw that arrow. Actually, let's make that -5, that one. And -1 will be up here somewhere and 0 is here. And this must be greater than -1, like that. So remember, these just go to infinity. So look where your lines overlap. You can see it's in here. This will be your solution here. So any number which is more than -1 will be true. We'll make this entire inequality true. So your final solution, final answer, x must be greater than -1. greater than -5, it will be true only for one part, maybe that bit there. But if the number is more than -1, this will be true. So you look where the two lines overlap. So you put this line in here, and you put this line in here, and you look for where the lines cross over. If they don't cross over, there's no solution, as we found here. Okay, that's a little bit tricky, but I think it's something worth learning this year before you get to grade 10. But like I said, I won't give you too many questions like this with like multiple X values. So tomorrow we'll do this one, and then we'll do some harder ones, and I'll give you a bit more practice. Okay, so I think tomorrow we will do these ones here. So there's a few there to do. And I might give you a few in the item pool if we have time. All right, so let's stop there. I'll leave that one if you want to copy it, but I'll just post the video up and you can check it later. Okay. So it's 8:50, so we better stop there. I will post the video as an unlisted link, but I won't edit it. So you'll have to flick through and find the thing you want to look at. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you later then. All right. And see you tomorrow. We'll work on that again tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye. Have a good day. See ya.